Good morning from Washington, D.C., and thank you, Luigi, for that warm introduction. And many thanks to Cybersecurity Italia for inviting me to address this distinguished group of cybersecurity thought leaders across Italy and Europe. The Office of the National Cyber Director, where I serve as acting director, is one of the primary advisors to President Biden on cybersecurity policy. Our mission is to ensure that the United States, together with our allies and partners, is able to build a defensible, resilient, and values-aligned digital ecosystem that allows communities to thrive and prosper. My office works alongside federal and international partners, state and local governments, and the private sector to achieve 4 key outcomes: federal coherence, aligning resources to aspirations, driving present and future resilience, and public-private collaboration. One of our roles in the Office of the National Cyber Director is to apply strategic context, to look over the horizon, consider insights drawn from ongoing and existing threats, and prepare for the next challenge. As President Biden has noted in his national security strategy, the United States faces an inflection point where the choices we make and the priorities we pursue today will set us on a course that determines our competitive position long into the future. Over the next 10 years, the contours of our great power competition, be they military or diplomatic, technological or environmental, will be solidified. On that note, I'd like to share some thoughts from our forthcoming national cybersecurity strategy to provide a framing for the next steps each of us will take as we jointly set out on this course towards building a defensible, resilient, and value-aligned digital ecosystem. The President's National Cybersecurity Strategy, which my office led and drafted, begins by acknowledging a profound truth. Technology and humanity are intertwined. As such, technology is freighted with all the better angels and greater demons of our nature. Technology does not itself represent a value system. Rather, it carries with it the values of its creators and operators. Technology, therefore, can bring great advancement from groundbreaking vaccines to essential services for the underserved. But it can also be used by anti-democratic forces to suppress or to misinform. The Biden-Harris administration, like our Italian counterparts, believes that democratic societies have an imperative to infuse our values of human dignity and freedom of expression into our technological choices. Our North Star is building an internet that is equitable, safe, and resilient. At the same time, we are also facing autocratic powers who are doing the opposite with their digital tools. And unless cybersecurity is baked into our technology, adversarial powers, criminals, and rogue nations may exploit cyberspace for their own nefarious ends. So, what are we going to do about it? We're going to do 5 things to advance our positive vision for cyberspace. First, we must recognize that we are trying to improve the plane while we're flying it, and it's been in the air a long time. Consider this. Version 4 of the Internet Protocol remains the most widely used today. It was finalized in September 1981. Many of our systems have fundamental insecurities, but we cannot simply lament that fact. We must defend them, in close collaboration with our private sector partners, as we attempt to move to a firmer foundation. Second, even as we develop closer partnerships to defend what we have now, we must make building cybersecurity into technology from the outset a core tenet of future investment. For example, as we drive the clean energy revolution, we must ensure security and resilience are at the forefront of design choices about our new infrastructure. Making strategic decisions up front means that we, not our adversaries, set the agenda when it comes to designing and building the world in which we want to live. Third, our government must act to ensure technology serves the interests of the people. To be clear, collaboration is critical in cybersecurity. We all know much of the terrain of cyberspace is owned and operated by the private sector, as is the critical infrastructure that is on the front lines of cyber skirmishes. For that reason, professional intimacy is paramount. Voluntary measures will only get us so far and not as far as we need to go. The United States government will step in where necessary to incentivize appropriate cybersecurity measures. We will take the lightest possible touch, but no less than that. We will harmonize regulations with industry. This approach will be even more effective if we can harmonize with partners and allies across the globe. I encourage each of you to think about how we can do so. Fourth, we need to shift the responsibility for cybersecurity to those that are most able to bear it. Many of you are familiar with the Colonial Pipeline incident in 2021, where the compromise of a single service account disrupted 40% of the gasoline supply to a significant portion of the eastern United States. That degree of aggregate risk where a single pipeline engineer can cause a loss of confidence and immense economic disruption is a failure of system design. Through the implementation of our strategy, the United States government will ensure the most capable and best positioned actors in cyberspace are better stewards of the digital ecosystem. And finally, we recognize that everything in cyberspace happens in an international context. The internet has revolutionized what it means to scale. The digital ecosystem we rely on is global in nature, and the blast radius from cyber attacks can encompass the entire world. Even in our forthcoming national cybersecurity strategy, we must build on shared values like those found in the Declaration for the Future of the Internet. And we must forge international partnerships to pursue our shared goals. Through this strategy, we are recommitting to the principles of responsible state behavior in cyberspace. We will work with our partners to strengthen their cybersecurity capacity while at the same time expanding our ability to, in collaboration with partners like Italy, assist in times of crisis. We will also continue to refine our activities to attribute and hold irresponsible states accountable. In conclusion, we live in challenging times, but I remain optimistic that through collaborations such as this, we can overcome shared challenges. Working together, the United States and our allies and partners, we will build a defensible, resilient, and values-aligned digital ecosystem beyond the next decisive decade. Thank you.